Sony FX3 is available under $3,800-$3,900, while this camera is available under $2,000. Yes, we are talking about Panasonic S5ii X. And in today's video, we'll compare these two cameras, we'll compare their still features, video feature, ergonomics and other feature, and try to see which camera would be the best value for money for you. Let's start with the ergonomics of these two cameras. First of all, they both are full frame cameras. And when it's come to the megapixel count, they are different, and we'll talk about it in the later part of this video. Both the camera comes with durable magnesium alloy chassis. But when it's come to sealing, they are different. FX3 comes with a dust and moisture resistant sealing, while Panasonic comes with a slightly better sealing. It comes with a dust and splash resistant sealing. It means this camera can be used in tough weather condition, and this type of camera would be perfect for a documentary style of work. When it comes to camera design and body, I would prefer the FX3 style, which is inspired by Sony's cinema lineup. That's why you get gray and black color. Not only that, but if you look, you will find tons of mounting hole on the camera body itself, which is great because now with this camera you can mount the accessory on the camera itself without investing on any cage. On the other hand, Panasonic S5ii X comes in a regular mirrorless style camera body, and if you want to mount accessory you will have to invest in cage. The other thing I like about the FX3 camera is the tele light. This camera has tele light, and when you press the recording button it make this light glows in a different color, which can help you identify whether the camera is recording or not. This particular feature is not available in S5ii X. In any kind of production environment, the quick turnaround time is absolutely critical. The quicker you are in setting up your camera, lighting, the more valuable you will be for the production. And for this, custom button can be really helpful. Now in FX3, you get 12 custom buttons and 3 mode dials, which can be utilized to assign any kind of shortcut. On the other hand, in S5ii X, you get 13 custom buttons, 5 mode dials and 2 joysticks. So if you compare it with FX3, you get a lot more customization option in Panasonic S5ii X. One more advantage you will get with FX3 is that it comes bundled with a handle, and this handle will not just give you the stability, but it also comes with a high quality audio interface, which can help you capture in super high quality audio. Although Panasonic doesn't have any such option, but there is an audio interface available in the market from Panasonic which exactly look like Sony one, and you can purchase that if you need it. By the way, I'm going to put the purchase link of every item I'm showing on this video, so just in case if you are interested, you can just go to the description and check those links. If we talk about input-output ports, both the cameras are similar. Both have full-size HDMI, they have microphone, headphone jack, USB-C port, as well as in FX3 you will get an additional micro USB port. Now let's talk about the stills feature, means photography related features. Starting with photo resolution, FX3 has 10.2 megapixel of resolution, while Panasonic S5ii X has 24.2 megapixel of photo resolution. Now in continuous shooting mode, where camera take photos in rapid burst, Sony FX3 can shoot at maximum speed of 10 fps, while Panasonic S5ii X can shoot at a speed of 30 fps while retaining the full quality, full resolution. You achieve this speed because of the electronic shutter, and this particular camera has an electronic shutter option as well. If you want to use mechanical shutter, you can get up to 8 fps. While talking about stills, Panasonic has a very unique still related feature. It's called high resolution mode. In this mode, camera will capture a series of photos, merge them in the camera, and will give you a super high resolution photo which is up to 96 megapixel of quality. This is called a super resolution mode. You will not find any such feature in FX3. Now let's go to the exciting stuff, the video and cinema related feature. Now before moving there, I want to remind you that please keep it in mind that one camera is a cinema camera, that is FX3, and another one is just a hybrid camera. So let's start with the video resolution. Sony can capture 4K video resolution, while Panasonic S5ii X can capture whopping 6K video resolution. Now both the cameras can capture in DCI as well as UHD resolutions. So now let's talk about crop, how much crop you will get to see in different video modes. When it comes to the cropping, FX3 is the best camera because it can shoot pretty much without crop in all the video modes. While on the other hand, Panasonic S5ii X, you will get 1.5 time crop in 4K 60, which is also known as the APS-C mode. Now there are lots of similarity in these two cameras and I'll go through them quickly. First of all, both the camera can capture colors in 10-bit 422. They have a picture profile for capturing extended dynamic range. They can capture all intra as well as long off. They have dual card slot and they comes with internal fan, which can be helpful if you are shooting in a hot and humid environment. And now since the Panasonic has upgraded its autofocusing system, both the cameras have almost similar kind of autofocusing performance. There is another unique thing which is available on both the cameras. So you can now export your camera setting on a SD card and import it on another camera, another similar model. So for example, you have a specific custom button setting, a specific shortcut, you can save them on the SD card, and when you put that SD card in another camera, you can export them and set the new camera in the similar way. Now let's talk about key differences, and the first thing is slow motion. And slow motion nowadays is quite an important feature. In this particular department, FX3 is a better camera because it can shoot 4K up to 120p. And it produces amazing gorgeous slow motion. On the other hand, if you talk about Panasonic S5ii X, it can capture only 4K 60, and if you reduce the resolution to full HD, you can shoot up to 180p. In the filmmaking world, there is a feature called shutter angle, and which is very important, especially if you are shooting professional project, you are working on a big budget productions. Because what happened that suppose if you get hired as a B cam operator and the main camera, the A cam, is a proper cinema camera, most of the time they use shutter angle function. They don't have shutter speed, and they will expect you or your camera to match the shutter angle of the A cam. And if your camera doesn't have a shutter angle, there is a problem, because then you are stuck with the shutter speed. So it's always better to have a shutter angle option in a camera if you are working in a filmmaking world. Unfortunately, FX3 doesn't have shutter angle option, even though it's a cinema camera. On the other hand, Panasonic S5ii X, which is just a hybrid, and Panasonic is not selling it as a cinema camera, but it has the shutter angle option. Again, it is expected to have some good assist feature in a camera which belongs to cinema category, but on the other hand, in FX3, it doesn't have that. Like, it just have a focus peaking, zebra setting, custom LUTs and framing guide, and that's it. You don't get anything. On the other hand, Panasonic S5ii X, you will get all kind of professional feature like waveform monitor, vector scope, false color with the viewing LUT, focus peaking, framing guide, zebra, and everything, custom LUT. So these tools helps a cinematographer in exposing and framing, and these are the really important aspect of cinematography. I know some people will say that you can use a monitor and get all these tools, but of course we can do that. But in some scenario where you are shooting gorilla style, you are in an awkward angle and you can't rig your camera with a monitor, in those times these inbuilt tools really help us in nailing the shot. And in that regard, I would say Panasonic S5ii X is a better cinema camera than FX3. Both these cameras can capture raw output on an external recorder through HDMI. In FX3 you need to buy an external recorder like Atomos Ninja or something like that, and you need to hook it up with the HDMI. These monitors are expensive, On the other hand, Panasonic S5ii X, you just need to use an external SSD and it can record and capture raw in that cheap SSD, which can save a lot of money. Not only this, but in S5ii X, if you don't want to capture raw, if you don't want to use an external SSD, you can still record a high quality ProRes, which is an industry standard in high quality codecs, and you can record it using just the camera SD card. That's just amazing. And our cinema camera FX3, it actually cannot record ProRes internally, at least for now. Talking about a super high quality recording codec, so FX3 can record a ProRes RAW externally, and it also capture all intra internally, right? But Panasonic, on the other hand, it gives you an option to record ProRes RAW, regular ProRes, as well as Blackmagic RAW. Now, Blackmagic RAW is a very interesting codec here, I would say. It's almost like a RAW file, but it's less in file size. So if you record a ProRes RAW, for example, for 5 minutes, you might end up a file size of like 1 or 2 TB. But the same duration of Blackmagic RAW will end up like 500 GB. So you will save a lot of space, and lot of space means lot of cost. And the good thing is Panasonic is not forcing us to choose any particular codec. They are giving all the options, like if you want to record ProRes, normal ProRes RAW or Blackmagic RAW, you can choose and decide based on your project. Now coming to custom LUTs, in Panasonic you can upload up to 10 custom LUTs. In Sony FX3 you can upload up to 16 custom LUTs. Both the cameras have anamorphic mode. Panasonic has this mode from the very beginning. FX3 has recently added this mode through the firmware upgrade. With this mode you can use anamorphic lens with your camera and use the D squeeze within the camera, so it would be easier for you to preview the image. In terms of image stabilization, FX3 provides 5.5 stops of image stabilization, while Panasonic S5ii X provides 6.5 stops of image stabilization. Not only this, but Panasonic also provide stabilization in anamorphic mode, which is very rare. Normally anamorphic lenses are heavy and the camera setup becomes very heavy if you use anamorphic setup. So to tackle this, you don't need to use any gimbal. If you want to capture smooth motion, just take your camera, use the internal stabilization of S5ii X and you are good to go. Panasonic also supports open gate shooting. It's a fairly new mode. This mode is really helpful for people who create content for a variety of platforms. Sometimes we work on a professional project and client asks us to shoot or maybe to create content in a vertical as well as horizontal format. By using this mode, you can avoid reshooting. In this mode, the image we capture is like a 4:3 format. So from that image, it is fairly easy to take out a horizontal as well as vertical shot. And this can save us a lot of time. FX3 doesn't have any such mode. You can do live stream in up to 1080 60p quality in Panasonic. And you can literally just use your camera as a webcam through USB. You don't need any capture card, or you can use your smartphone, use the hotspot feature and use the live stream feature on the go. I think there is no such feature in FX3 because I think it cannot export the audio through USB-C till now, if I'm not wrong. In terms of dynamic range, both the cameras are similar. Both cameras have a picture profile option which can help you in capturing the extended dynamic range. They both have full frame cameras, so they actually capture really nice colors. Another important feature which is only available in Panasonic and not on Sony, that is EVF. Now people think that EVF is important for stills only, but that's not true. EVF can be really helpful for stills as well as video. It helps you in focusing on your frame and removing the distraction from overall composition, and having an EVF is always a helpful thing. Both the cameras supports power delivery to power bank, but FX3 is slightly different. In FX3 it can run the camera but will not charge the battery, so if you take out the power bank, your camera will die if there is no battery. On the other hand, in S5ii X, it will run the camera as well as charge the camera's battery. Next is the low light performance, and we all know that Sony is undisputed king when it's come to the low light. You can literally shoot in the night time, raise your ISO to 100,000 and convert night into day. On the other hand, Panasonic S5ii is not that bad at all. You can still use a clean image up to 20 to 25,000 ISO, which is I think practical. We don't need to go higher than that. Now when it's come to the software support, I would say Panasonic is miles ahead of Sony. Sony doesn't give often software update for their cameras. Like for example, there is a focus breathing composition they launched with A7 Mark IV, and they didn't push it to their top of the line camera till now. On the other hand, Panasonic, they are famous for very frequent software support, and they actually upgrade their camera with all the new features. Lens are another important factor when it's come to choosing a camera, and in this regard Sony is the better one, because you name any camera lens brand and you will see that they are making lens for Sony E-mounts. So I mean Samyang, Viltrox, Siri, Sigma, Tamron, Tokina, all of them, they are making lens for Sony. On the other hand, Panasonic, they have now changed their autofocusing capability, and which was the main hindrance for their success. So now the slowly lens manufacturers are joining and creating lens for them. For example, Sigma has started making lens for Panasonic now. So if we conclude this video so far, I would say that FX3 is a better camera when it's come to low light performance, slow motion and lens support. And in everything else, in all the other regards, Panasonic S5ii X is a better cinema camera. So now let's look at, if someone has a budget to buy FX3 camera, and if he wants to go to Panasonic, what all he can afford in the budget of FX3. I have divided this into two options. So in the first option, so now you can get Panasonic S5ii X body, you can get Panasonic audio adapter, a T7 1TB SSD, a cage, handle and a SSD holder, Field World F6 monitor, Panasonic 50mm f1.8 lens, 2 extra batteries with charger, Weebill 3S gimbal and a wireless lav mic lens go. You can get all this if you choose to go with Panasonic instead of FX3, and with this setup you are ready to shoot corporate style interviews. Now suppose if you are not an audio person and audio is not your thing, I mean you have a dedicated person who handles the audio, so you don't want to use audio. So let's see the option 2 what you can get. So in option 2 you will get camera body, you will get two lenses here, one Panasonic 24 to 105 mm f4 and another Panasonic 50 mm. Then you can also get SSD 1TB, you can get cage, handle, SSD holder, you can get Field World F6 monitor, 2 extra battery with charger and Weebill 3S gimbal. So again, now you can see you can get a full filmmaking setup if you choose to go with Panasonic instead of FX3. In case if someone wants to go with FX3, he will only get a camera body and the handle, not the lens. If you want to go for a decent quality lens, it will push your budget further up. Now if you are someone who worked in a lot of professional projects which require raw shooting, raw recording capability, then in that case your budget is slightly different. So FX3 will cost you around $3,800-$3,900, plus you will have to invest in a proper external recorder. That is again an expensive thing. So just the camera body and the external recorder will cost you around $4,400, and keep in mind that there is still no lens. So to record something you need to invest in a lens. The moment you invest in a lens, this budget will go up like $5,000 or $6,000. On the other hand, with Panasonic you don't need anything, since you have already invested in an SSD, a T7 drive. You can start recording the professional codec like RAW or ProRes. So there is a huge difference if we talk about the value for money thing, and if we compare the feature, I know that in some respect FX3 is better than Panasonic S5ii, but on all the other important area, Panasonic S5ii shines because it covers you with EVF, with waveform monitor, with assist tool, with shutter angle. You will get everything, high resolution mode. So now if we try to understand who would go towards FX3, I would say only two type of two category will drawn towards the FX3 camera. Number one, those who still not aware of this Panasonic new camera offering, or number two, those who are already invested in lots of Sony lenses, because then it is really tough to change the system, because you just don't have to change the camera, but you will have to change the entire lens lineup, and that is really tough. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any question, please comment below, subscribe to my channel, and you will find all the link which I have displayed on this video in the description. So I'll see you soon with my next video. Bye bye.